color I need.
We will start this meeting once I find the
Date.
agenda. We will open this meeting of the Village of North Bennington Board of Trustees for Tuesday, February 9. And we will start with a review and approval of minutes of January 12, as well as that work session minutes, right? There's two different minutes.
Yep.
Start with the 12th.
It's not a big thing, but on the minutes, the second page under old business, and these are from last month's, the regular meeting.
Yep.
I met with Tim Corcoran. I have corresponded with Brian, but I've not met with him, actually. I think maybe Matthew, you did.
Yeah.
But, so. it's not a big
Collectively,
deal.
we met with
Yeah,
Tim
we've
and Brian.
certainly communicated with them both.
Okay. And you'll have an update on that anyway
I will.
in the meeting, yeah.
I will.
Okay. With that change, can I get,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
do I have a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have,
I will abstain because I wasn't there.
okay, one abstention. And then we have the January 23 budget meeting that we had on that Saturday morning. Bill and David were absent. There's really not anything there. We finalized the budget.
I'll move we accept these minutes.
I guess I'll have to be the one to second it because I was the only one there. So I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And two abstentions. Second, let's review the monthly warrant and approve the payment of the bills.
Mary, what's the
May I
amount?
ask actually a couple of comments. Number one, on the payroll warrant, I just want to remind you that we have most of January's in there for Tanner Garrity.
Right.
You guys had approved him, but
That's right.
we're just putting it on this instead of revising last month's
Okay.
minutes. So that's included in here.
That's fine.
Secondly, the second note I wanted to let you know is yet again, the warrant for the village is going to be revised.
Again?
Beyond today?
Yes,
The 5 o'clock p.m.?
yes, because this bill just came in. This is the MSK invoice for the retaining wall stuff, if somebody wants to take a look at this.
Is that the engineering for the?
Yes, so rather than make them wait another
Yes.
month and be late,
Agreed.
can we add the $4,305.50 to this warrant, bringing the total to $32,227.01? Your last check that was printed on the warrant should be 16687. This will add 16688.
And that made a total of what?
32,227.01.
01.
32,
32,227.01.
yeah.
And that's that's grant, mostly grant, part of the grant for the engineering of, right?
Yeah, 227.41, right?
What's the question?
This MSK bill is part of the grant, will cover most of that. The retaining wall, Water Street.
All of that bill is
Jason's bill.
tied up in that frame.
Yeah, okay. So give this back to her.
Okay.
We'll get that.
We need.
Now, you got copies,
For the
Norm?
grant later, we'll need copies of those bills and we'll need copies of those checks.
I keep a file of every grant with all the invoices, and
Do you copy the check?
I don't copy the check, but I know in QuickBooks exactly where to find it.
There you go.
And we can, yeah, because they want a copy of the check.
No, we don't keep a copy. It's easy enough to.
You can make one.
I can make a copy of the check.
There we go.
And then I keep, also in that, I keep a copy of every reimbursement, noting which invoices it is.
Right, we have applied ready for that.
Yeah.
We have not yet. So, any other questions about the?
I just had one.
Yep.
Atlantic broom, I assume that's something with,
That's a cutting edge for our big plow.
so I figured.
We're all out of the ones that we got when we bought the truck.
So how many is that?
One.
That's one edge? That's your high super steel?
It better be super, right?
Well, the next time when we replace it.
Flip it over.
Hopefully we'll get through the rest of this year, we'll actually buy another insert next year and work them in. It's like only a third of that price.
Okay.
So it's actually cheaper, it's $500 cheaper than going the steel and the carbide, but it's only a 1 foot segment, so it's a lot easier. If you got up with us in the morning and seen how it plows it, it cleans the road, it does exactly what it says. It's supposed to.
Great.
I am up with you in the morning. I think you come by my house first. I can hear it.
Instead of going for a run,
I'm up when you honk your horn. That's about the time I'm up. Okay.
Make sure you're up.
Exactly. So I'll entertain a motion to adopt to accept the warrant.
I'll move we approve the warrant at $32,227.41.
Wait a minute.
Should be.
He comes up with 41.
Oh, one.
It's 51 and 90.
No, 50, 4305, 50.
Oh, it's 430550.
Oh,
01.
sure.
01.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And the payroll warrant,
So I'll move we approve the payroll warrant.
I'll second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we don't have any others this time around. Okay. We don't have any citizens. I would like at this moment to introduce John Lamson, who's sitting there. You could just stand there and they can go. John is running for David's seat on the board at our annual meeting on 15th.
March
15th.
Right.
John has lived in the community, how many years?
We bought our house on 11 Mechanic Street in 2010, and then we lived for about 3 years before that in West Shasberry out on Lake Creek Road. So been around.
You've been around.
For a while.
Well, we welcome you, and we will look forward to having you on this board, should the cards align that way, and I don't know that they won't, don't know why they wouldn't. But please stick around if you want to just see what's going on, and are we having that presentation tonight?
I don't see him. He was sick at school today.
Wait, who?
I'm talking
There was a
about the
student
little
about
fourth
park
grader.
benches.
What are you
Oh,
talking
no, I'm
about?
talking about the solar,
Derek.
Encore Derek Moretz. We never heard.
Well, I heard that they were coming, and I had not heard they were not coming.
You spoke with them. Did you were you part of that
Yeah, just
call?
Yeah.
All right.
But they, Dan called me this week and he said that they're delayed in getting all their paperwork, so they're
Okay.
not really ready to present anything yet.
So we'll likely be out of here pretty quick.
Right. Anyway, so what that
Stick
is.
around if you want.
I don't know if anybody's heard about this, but this is with the solar energy that the town of Bennington is making, and it gives them 15% off their total electric bill. And they'd like to include North Bennington in that. So our electric bill will be reduced 15%. And that includes everything but the streetlights, which is the big one.
I was curious, we can talk about this anyway, just because, Bill, what's your take on this company and what they do?
I'm not sure what they're building. I looked online, it said they're building a 700 kilowatt facility, but you can't do that under net metering in Vermont, so I got confused and gave up.
Okay. I think this is the one that we're gonna build out on some marginal land behind, the Manili,
Yeah,
development, you know, on East Road.
right.
But I don't know how many, yeah, I don't know, you know that stuff better, so.
Yeah, I was looking at the Bennington one, and it said 700 kW group net metering, but the cap in Vermont is 500. And I know that Dan was doing something with I think the water treatment facility, and it seemed to me like even at 500, they would just barely meet the demand there, so I didn't know, and I
Gave up.
forward to what they wanted to
Right.
present, because I really didn't know enough.
Well, we'll wait until they come and, maybe next month they'll come. Let's do highway. No, let's do treasure report.
Hold on, I have something to tell you. I have no takeaways to give anybody today. I've been a little
It's fine.
But I did want to let you guys know that as of now, we have 30 properties that are in the delinquent status, of which 12 are actively paying. Three of the ones that are not actively paid, I've been in contact with, and I expect mortgage companies, banks, et cetera, to be getting those soon. And the grand total right now is $69,591 in total delinquencies, including the school and the village. So
That's way down.
It's way down.
Yeah, that's been a great help to the school this year, for sure. So, those are delinquencies counting this last November's taxes? No.
Yes,
That's total,
yes.
total outstanding,
Total from every year,
So-
including,
even those who are behind by 3 months.
right, and including the properties that we discussed in the abatement.
Okay.
Do you keep a schedule of that?
Schedule in terms of.
Of like,
How long they've been?
how long they've been and who they are?
There are NEMRIC reports, the software that we use for that's pretty good, and I have a pretty rigorous binder of keeping track of who does what, and I have a pretty good system of making sure that I know who's paid when, and every month, at the first of every month, a new interest is assessed on anything that's outstanding. Letters go out, and I also customize the letters according to the individuals.
Great.
And I keep notes of everybody that I talk to or anyone who calls. So it's come in handy because in a couple of instances I've been able to go into last year's notes. Not surprisingly, many people delinquent this year were also last year. So I have ways of contacting people that took me months to find last year.
Great. Great.
And are you currently seeking any tax sale?
Not at the moment. I'm giving people every opportunity to respond.
Good.
And I think that's somewhat the frustration, as I know people are intending to pay these, but it's a little frustrating when you send letter after letter and no one bothers to let you know what their plan is.
Right.
Because I do know that there are several people who wait, and when they get their tax refund, they pay this bill. Which is fine, it would just be kind of nice to know.
Yeah.
But each year, we'll just make a little
A
progress.
little better, okay. And, is that all you got?
That's it, sorry.
We do have the annual report, fresh back from the printers. This will be going around. How are you doing that this year?
Oh, yeah, and I've already started.
You're good with that, or do you want help, or?
Nope, I've already started on my
Okay.
journey.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
So-
I'll let you know if I need some help.
So look for these in your door. There probably will be some available towards the end when we know everybody's supposed to have gotten one. There'll be some available by phone call or something, but,
Sure.
and certainly will be
The library too. and-
library.
I leave them at-
There'll be a stack at the annual meeting, which is on March 15 at 7:30 in the evening, right?
In the gym.
In the gym of the school. Highway. Norm?
Well, we're just making it through the first part of the winter. Staying busy. You notice we cut some brush in town, cleaned out by the bridge.
Looks
I
great.
saw that, that looks really good.
You know, we're using our third guy, Tanner, on them days. The bridge, I'd like to say thank you to the fire department, because we actually had their cold water rescue team that day, because that's a little weird, you know what I mean? If somebody goes in the drink, I want to be able to be fetched out pretty fast. Having fallen in that water before,
Yeah.
pretty good current. So that's good. Other than that, we're just kind of plugging along. I mean, we're catching up on some maintenance. We've started cleaning the lights on the inside of our building. You know, that's about it. Had a long day today, and I'm hoping for a quick meeting too.
Yeah. Yeah, you were out much of the day, I'm sure. What was the deal with that sign you guys went and helped Mark Berry with? The old historical marker.
There's a historical marker, plaque, sign, combination of all three that was in front of the Park McCullough House at the intersection of the top of West
And Church Street.
There's it's sleeved inside a pipe, and there's probably a 3 or 4 foot pipe. I mean, it took all 3 of us to pick it up, so somebody earned it. I think somebody was trying to steal it, and they dropped it. And there's a big crack in it, and I really haven't got to the bottom of who's gonna pay to get it welded or how much it's gonna be. But I brought it to our guy, and I said, you gotta fix this, because it's gotta be fixed, because if it goes
It'll
up.
just keep cracking.
Well, keep cracking would be the least of our problems. It's when it, you know, when it falls over and then the thing shatters into a million pieces. Now whoever owns it's got to recreate it. So, as you know, sometimes I go over and above with different things. Still will tell you. You know, we're gonna get it fixed. We'll
Good.
figure out how we're gonna deal with the rest of it later.
So somebody lifted off of that sleeve about 3 feet or 4 feet?
Oh, boy, like 8, 9 feet high in the air. You know, I mean, they earned it. They were-
What is it, Norm? Tell me that.
It's a historical marker by Park Street and West Street.
Just big Park McCullough.
It's-
Green and gold thing.
It's, you know, it's 2.5 feet wide by 3.5 feet tall, but it's cast aluminum, so it's nothing that we can weld.
Oh,
So once we get it welded, we'll bring it back and we'll tape it up probably at the garage and paint the gray around it for them.
maybe have, next time you have a welder on site, or you know, tack that thing so it can't be lifted off.
We're probably gonna, in the
Drill a
summertime,
pin.
drill right through, we're gonna put a bolt, and then we're just gonna, like we do with the street signs, we're gonna smash the end of it, so. I mean, if somebody wants it off.
Sure.
They can get it, but we're gonna make it a little harder than just picking it up.
Is this a state sign?
I
might
actually
be.
I think the Park McCullough house owns it. I mean,
Oh.
But it is like those signs you see up at
The state does.
the Galusha, Governor Galusha thing. They're all the same.
Right, it's pretty fancy,
Yeah.
it's pretty nice. I mean, I could, as soon as he called, we saw what it was. We gotta get it fixed,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You know, I'm sure Alan will square up in the end, you
Sure.
know what I mean?
Well, we should make sure it's not a state sign, because.
if it is, they might deal with
They
it.
may be able to.
Who's there's nobody over there probably even knows. If it's not a big if it's not a big
Right.
nut, just do it, and thank you for that.
Our welder doesn't think it's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's just, you know, you gotta get the time,
yep.
it's not gonna be just.
Anything else? Trying to think. Salt's okay, did you end up getting another salt?
We're going to probably tomorrow.
was on the bill.
We still have some
Yeah.
more. We got that, the chloride, and we treated a whole bunch of it, but, you know, we've been through it, we kinda fought our way to the back of the pile in this last storm, and the truck, we're supposed to get an inch of snow tonight, so the truck's loaded. We put the blue on the side because we're supposed to get some on Friday, and
And then it's supposed to get-
storm, and it's gonna be cold.
It's
so
supposed to get real
that's-
cold after that, so you're
Treated
gonna
salt really goes, but we're probably, I called Mary this morning to figure out where I was, and I was, it was $500, so just my little chicken scratch I keep, so.
Well, yeah, that you're gonna be having to dole out probably the next two days, a little bit at a time too.
Yeah, you know.
Nuisance.
And anybody that'll tell you, you know, those little storms, the way they've been coming, they come at 7 o'clock at night, and then they come, you know, so you gotta deal with them tonight, and then you deal with them tomorrow. And, you know, so it's like, it's plowing twice. So, you know, those aren't cheap storms, even though they don't seem like a lot, they're not.
Yeah, I got you.
They're expensive. So they are what they are. We have failure in our big dump truck, the main piston blew. And I got one of them coming, but that's $2 grand. I don't choke a horse when I count the spot. You know, I got it.
That's
moving
not,
so I can use the truck.
that's not under that long-term warranty, that was just the chassis. Yeah.
No, and that should be here next week.
All right,
And it's not rebuilt.
you can't rebuild.
No, we tried. It's all, the inner side got a big chunk of rust all down through the back where you really can't see when you're cleaning. And it's not anything you would normally like wash off all the time. And it's just throw the seal out of it. And it's like, if we raise it and lower it down, we probably use 3 gallons.
Oh, that's, yeah, no. That's not cheap either.
No, and we're gonna start, you know, mud season, you start hauling gravel, the park shirt all the time. It's just,
All right, any questions for Norm? I know there was something, but.
well, just if somebody's around this weekend, pop into this building and make sure the heat's on, because it's gonna be crazy, crazy cold, you know? So we'll probably, we leave it at 55, we'll probably turn it up to 57, 58.
Well, but that new system down there it's supposed to respond to that, right?
It's where you turn it up, you drive your bike, pop in this building, stick your head in, and make sure the heat's
Yeah.
on.
Well, if I had a key, I would.
Send me a text.
Lost all my keys. Like,
I don't have a key either. I'm gonna take your key.
there you go. Doesn't he get an honorary key? You gotta be able to have an honorary.
Gotta be made out of something better than whatever it's made out of. It'd be a lot bigger.
Really not. Okay,
When do you want it set up?
well,
We got the Lego thing coming. right?
no, but
Yeah.
this is before the Lego thing, so, I don't know, I'd be more comfortable if it were set up the Friday before,
Perfect.
just because I'm nervous about things sometimes.
This is for what? For your village?
For voting, for March
Primary.
Oh, voting.
for a
Oh, yeah.
Monday.
Send me a text on Thursday, we'll set it up.
And I'd prefer to have that set up, because I have to do it myself this year, so,
That's March 1, right?
yeah.
Early. Okay. DRB? There's something coming up. There's, with you.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
Tomorrow night?
I'll be there.
Okay. Is Dan back in town? I think he might be.
Yeah, he must be.
Yeah, he wouldn't have scheduled that if he wasn't
Yeah,
here.
he actually emailed Maria, I think, about it. So.
Okay. That's just you're just doing building a structure on your property for your in-law. Fire department, water board, new business was gonna be Encore Derek Moretz. That's not happening. Old business. I know Janice would like to speak to
I
the,
would. I was on the speakerphone today with the Senate Government Operations Committee, and they unanimously passed our charter along. So it will now go to the full Senate for a vote, and assuming it passes there, which I think it will, it'll go to the governor for signature.
any timeline on that?
I don't know, and I will email Brian and Dick about
If that were to happen before our meeting,
Well,
What would we do
I was asked that, but I think
Because
the
we've already
warning,
warned.
we'd have to have it warned,
Okay,
so
that's fine.
that's too bad, because it does
We
seem to be
thought we
moving.
probably could have had a double warning saying if it got approved.
we could have, but yeah, we don't think of these things, do we?
Yeah, so anyway,
Okay, good work on that.
that's good.
Yeah, will you speak to that? I know you,
I can speak to it a little bit. You'll find, and I think it's happening a lot, especially under the the rewriting of Rule 5.100, which is the net metering rule, but I think overall, Rutland started this, and I can't remember how many towns have signed up, but the towns have kind of really gotten together and said, hey, Public Service Board, we really don't feel like we have a strong enough voice in what's happening as far as energy stuff. And not just solar or hydro or wind or anything like that, but also talking about conduits, talking about bringing power down from Canada, doing things like that. Villages haven't, and towns don't feel like they've had a strong enough voice in the matter, and so they're starting to want to speak up and say, hey, no, we really need a vote. We need a vote at the table. We need to say whether this is okay. And I think in large part municipalities are stakeholders and allowed to comment, but I think that Rutland's really starting to say we want the ability to say we can have this or not, and decide as a community, and not let the state make that decision for us.
But
and
I think
that's gray a little bit.
Right, I think as it stands now, the Public Service Board has basically all authority, and by statute, you can be a party to those discussions, but they have final,
right,
and not just for energy stuff, but cell towers and
right, for all of it,
all of it,
for everything that needs a certificate of public good, really. And I'm all in favor of signing it, because I think, you know, you can get lost in the shuffle if we're down here in the corner of the state and we don't know, you know, somebody could be doing
and
something.
it's just a resolution. It's seeking some sort of rediscussion and reevaluation of
right of
power shift. And
you got it.
You read that Gloria sent this down. It's coming up because of all the you know, kind of what I would characterize as an unplanned explosion of green energy sightings.
Right.
You know, the windmills, I think, have always been under larger scrutiny, but I think that solar in particular, as much as I'm, you know, for it, the industry has been able to bowl over, I think, local people a little bit as to.
Well, and I think you'd find the Public Service Board is starting to listen to this. The new changes to 5.100 were huge and very, I don't want to say they're anti-solar, but boy, they were like, you know, you can't, and we commented because they said you can't build by the river, and we were like, hey, you can't really do hydro without building by the river.
Yeah.
But it was all these things like you can't build, you know, you have to be within a certain distance. I mean, they wrote rules in that they had never written before, really to address solar. But anyway, in large part in response to this, and I think maybe getting on board with this is a good idea, in my opinion.
So what do? We sign it as a board, as a town, as a village?
I don't know, I think we need to ask them what we do.
Oh, it's just, yeah, okay. You know, I
assume that was just theirs. Now,
It's their resolution.
would it then, I assume they're gonna tell us, you come up with your own resolution, use this as a guide, and we would just, because this is Rutland Town saying this is what they want. I assume the process would be, we as the Village of North Bennington would make our own resolution if we want to have the same voice, or we agree. And
well, if we vote on it and decide to do it, maybe, Laura, you can help me find out who you got this from, and I can contact them.
They call me often,
Okay.
and until I answer.
Are they nice?
Very pleasant.
Okay, good.
Very, very pleasant.
Now, is Bennington Town signed on to this?
I don't know. I could ask Dan that for sure.
so is it my take that they were anxious to get a hold of you because
They were very anxious for me to make sure that you all
That we
knew
all had
what
it.
was happening.
Because obviously the
with this.
more they hear from individual
Correct.
municipalities, the more likely that their voice will be heard.
So as our resident energy expert, Bill, I'm putting you in charge of finding out what we need to do with that, and maybe by the next meeting, we would have our own official resolution to resolve and sign and.
Yeah, I think we have to vote to it. I think actually we just tell them that we're willing to join because it says we, the undersigned Vermont municipalities. So I think that we can just add our name to.
So I would entertain a motion to adopt.
I would move that we adopt Rutland's resolution to have more of a seat at the table with the Vermont Public Service Board in regards to certificates of public good.
So you could say that again. That would be helpful.
We'll write it
That's
down.
the hard part.
I'm going to move that we adopt the resolution, the Rutland's Town resolution, or join their resolution to request more of a seat at the table, is how I worded it,
Okay.
in Public Service Board proceedings regarding certificates of public good.
It was harder the second time, wasn't it?
I thought about it.
Exactly.
And then I'll find out how we need to do it if we're
Yep.
gonna.
Is there a second? Oh, go ahead. Question, discussion?
I have a question. The resolution is going to the Public Service Board?
That's who I believe that's who they're submitting it to.
Okay. And the Public Service Board makes its own process and rules?
Well, the state said they follow state statute on, but it has in the past been relatively, back there was that time where the Fed stepped in on like cell towers and said, there was a time where communities could say something, and then later they're like, no, you can't. This is an important technology. We're gonna.
Yeah, it's a touchy subject.
So I guess my question was whether it went to the Public Service Board or whether it's going to the state legislature.
My guess is
I bet it goes everywhere.
Yeah, and they're probably they may actually try to get the Department of Public Service as the public advocate to put this forth if they get enough municipalities involved. I don't know what their process is going to be.
Will you second his motion?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You should get a hold of Dan,
I will.
because
I'm sure he knows.
well, yeah, but if he no bills for it, I think that would go a long ways towards
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Getting them to,
getting them to sign on.
yep,
So I think he trusts that Bill knows what he's talking about.
yeah.
Might scare them in the other direction.
Any other old business?
I do want to say that Norm and I met with Allison Langsdale
You did.
Stroh, and to get Norm's take on what hazards we might be facing in our village, and I didn't bring the paper with me, but she's going to, and you can help me out, Norm, your memory's better than mine, but she'll be, there's a matrix that they use to evaluate the priorities of various, or the risk of various hazards. So they'll be doing that, and then I think in March will be the next time the group will be getting back together. She also spoke about being in touch with the folks at Bennington College, because there's no one on our committee from them, and they may have, but 2/3 of the college falls within our municipality, so they may have some issues they want to add to it as well. Anything else?
No,
Recall?
just the other agencies in our municipality.
I'm sorry.
The other agencies in our municipality, fire, water,
Oh, yeah,
sewers with Bennington.
yeah, well,
I don't think we have an executive.
I wanted to ask about the email about the testing, water testing, at some point in time. Where did that come from? You, David?
From you.
Yeah, no, that I think we should, I got a call, and it's just at the preliminary stages, but they want to start doing some testing for water. The ChemFab had some of the same chemicals that created the problem in Hoosick Falls. And unfortunately, in their investigation so far, there isn't any clear evidence of how they disposed of it. It's a little bit, they even had some of the older employees say that sometimes they were given stuff to take home and dispose of. So we have no idea where
I've heard stories over the last 30 years.
Yeah, and who knows? Fortunately, I just want to reassure the people of North Bennington that our water system is not in question whatsoever. It is far enough away and it's uphill that there is...
It's actually some of the cleanest water in the state.
Right. There's no way that our water is contaminated, but there could be some wells that people have scattered around in the rural areas that there is a potential for contamination. So I think, and this chemical has not been on the list very long, so there has been very little testing done throughout Vermont, or especially in our area. So they're going to start slowly, but they are trying to put information together just to see, because of the problem they got into Hoosick Falls, they think that it's important that they at least verify whether there's any chance for any, and if there is any contamination, it would only be in private wells that are kind of south end of the village.
Yeah, I don't know how many people on Harrington Road have wells or,
There are some wells scattered around that area.
I'd be concerned of that if I lived there, but again, the municipal water is very
Right, it's
good.
not-
And we are very fortunate that all the houses down around that factory area, from not just ChemFab, but it was
Right.
printing business,
Oh, yeah, there was all kinds
polygraphic,
of
there's all
chance.
kinds of, all kinds of possible contaminants. And I suspect that lagoon has not a very pretty profile down at the
Right.
bottom of the mud horizon. But,
Well, in all the industry that's been there over the years, I mean, it's, who knows what could be washing down the river there.
and that's true for everywhere in America, that's the
Right.
thing. As
Right.
I went and saw Aaron Brockovich speak last Saturday, and, Flint is the tip of the iceberg, right? I mean, we've ignored this stuff for so long, just occasionally it boils up with Love Canal or something, but that's not the big, multiply all the small businesses prior to the Clean Water Act and stuff that were probably dumping legally. At some point, it was certainly not.
Yeah, even after the 72 or 78 when EPA came in, it's still self-regulating.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
So if it's not on the list, you don't have to report it.
exactly.
No, and even I know Tanzator went through that with their, with their chemicals, that when they were dumping it, they were doing it perfectly legally. But they changed the laws, and now, as more information became available as to
Yeah. No, we
these
need to
contaminants could
start
do.
looking more carefully at these things, and unfortunately, liability is a hard one to
Vermont's
to
actually
pinpoint.
really good, though, at dealing with that. Vermont's one of the best states at dealing with issues like that, I think, in my experience, having dealt with it.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They do a great job. They're very helpful.
Yeah, you were right in the middle of it on both ends.
Yeah, no, but they do a really good job.
How to clean it up and how to not produce it.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Should we move it first before we second it?
It did.
He can't make the motion, but we have to make the motion?
Oh,
He would entertain a motion. I'll
Well,
make the motion, you can second it.
thank you.